What if I told you there's a country in Asia where you can retire for less than half of what you'd spend in the US? This country has modern hospitals, world-class food, and English spoken everywhere. It's not Thailand, though I do have a video guide to that country. It's not the Philippines, where I also recommend. No, not even Vietnam can give you all this. It's a place most Americans still overlook, the country of Malaysia. Welcome back to Retire Without Borders, the channel where I explore the smartest, safest, and most affordable places to retire abroad. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I drop new guides all the time to help you plan your dream retirement overseas. Today, I'm diving into why Malaysia is quietly becoming a top retirement haven for Americans. In this video, I'll cover cost of living, healthcare, residency visas, lifestyle, expat communities, and a few surprising perks that make Malaysia stand out. Stick with me until the end, because I'll reveal the one advantage Malaysia has that could make it even smarter than places like Mexico or Portugal. Before I get into the numbers and the visa requirements, let me share something you can probably relate to. I recently spoke with a couple from Chicago who had always dreamed of retiring overseas. They were tired of the blistering cold winters. They were tired of the sky-high medical bills from their incomplete insurance. Most importantly, they were tired of watching their savings shrink faster than expected. Their small pension combined with Social Security covered the basics, but not much more. So they asked themselves, could we really live better on the same income somewhere else? They discovered Penang, Malaysia. Today, they rent a modern apartment with ocean views for about what their US property tax bill used to be. They regularly eat out eating street food 3 nights a week for less than the cost of a single dinner out while back home. And here's the best part. When one of them needed a knee procedure, the bill was a small fraction of what it would have been in the US without waiting months for an appointment. This isn't a fantasy. It's the everyday reality for thousands of American retirees who chose to stretch their dollars by moving abroad. And it's not just about saving money. It's about waking up to palm trees instead of snow shovels. It's about having enough left over each month to travel, explore, or simply enjoy life without constant financial stress. So when I talk about Malaysia as a retirement haven, I'm not just talking about numbers on a spreadsheet. I'm talking about the freedom to live the kind of retirement you've always imagined without worrying if your money will last. And now let's break down what that actually looks like, starting with the cost of living. Let's start with the big question. Can you actually afford to retire here? Malaysia offers some of the best value in Southeast Asia. In Penang, like I just mentioned, you can rent a modern 1-bedroom apartment with ocean views for around $400 to $600 a month. In Kuala Lumpur, the capital, prices are a little higher, but even there, $700 to $900 gets you a comfortable condo with amenities like pools and gyms. Johor Bahru, just across the border from Singapore, offers even lower rents. Think $350 to $500 for a solid apartment. Daily expenses are also budget-friendly in Malaysia. Groceries run around 30% to 40% cheaper than in the US. The street food is incredible. A full meal consisting of rice, curry, and vegetables will cost just $3. Public transport is clean, plentiful, and affordable, while Grab, which is like Malaysia's version of Uber, is cheap and widely available. In other words, you don't even need a car to get around. That's a major savings. Compare this to the US, where rent alone can easily hit $2,500 in major cities. Here in Malaysia, many retirees report living well. This includes dining out often and traveling locally, for around $1,200 to $1,800 a month. But here's the kicker. It's not just about low cost. It's about what you actually get for your money. And that leads us to healthcare. Malaysia is consistently ranked as one of the top medical tourism destinations in the world. Why? Because it combines world-class hospitals with surprisingly low costs. A doctor's consultation might cost $15 to $30. A full hip replacement surgery? That will cost around $10,000 to $12,000. Compare that to $40,000 or more in the US. Prescriptions are also dramatically cheaper here. They're often less than half the US price. In Malaysia, you don't really even need private health insurance. Most doctors in private hospitals speak fluent English. This is because many trained in the UK or Australia, which eliminates a major barrier for American retirees. Think about that peace of mind. Imagine walking into a modern hospital, being treated by highly trained staff, and not walking out with a bill that ruins your retirement savings. But none of this matters if you can't actually stay long-term. So how does an American even qualify to live in Malaysia? Malaysia has a program designed exactly for this. It's called MM2H, or Malaysia My Second Home, if you want the full name. Here's how it works. After you apply, you place a fixed deposit in a Malaysian bank. The requirements vary by age, but generally are between 70 and 100,000 US dollars. Yeah, I know that may seem like a lot at once, but really, you can do this. You need to show a monthly income from your business or pension, often around $3,000. In exchange, you get a 10-year renewable visa that allows you to live in Malaysia full-time. You can also own property under certain conditions and even bring dependents. For those not ready to commit, Americans can still visit visa-free for 90 days at a time. Many retirees start by spending part of the year in Malaysia before applying for longer-term residency. In fact, I highly recommend doing this to see if you like the area in which you plan to live. Check out my video on test driving a country by clicking the link above to find out how. Now, the MM2H isn't the easiest or least expensive visa in the world, but compared to the US green card process or even Europe's golden visas, it's surprisingly attainable. But paperwork is only one part of the story. What does life here actually feel like day to day? Lifestyle and culture is where Malaysia really shines. This is a country where you can taste the world in a single day. The culture is a unique blend of Malay, Chinese, and Indian influences. That means festivals year-round, diverse traditions, and some of the best food on the planet. Penang, often called the food capital of Asia, has UNESCO heritage streets lined with hawker stalls, serving everything from laksa to satay for just a few dollars. I love Malay food. Kuala Lumpur offers modern city life with skyscrapers, malls, and nightlife. Meanwhile, coastal towns and islands like Langkawi give you tropical escapes, beaches, and slower-paced living. For retirees, this balance is golden, rich cultural life, but with all the comforts of modern living. But of course, all of this wouldn't matter if retirees didn't feel safe and welcome. Which brings me to safety and where expats are living. Malaysia is one of the safer countries in Southeast Asia. Crime rates are lower than in many US cities, especially violent crime. Sure, petty theft can happen, as in any country, but overall, expats report feeling secure. And when it comes to community, you won't be alone. Penang has a thriving retiree population, particularly among Americans and Europeans. Kuala Lumpur has strong international expat networks. Johor Bahru attracts retirees who like being close to Singapore. Facebook groups, social clubs, and international associations make it easy to connect. And there's one benefit most Americans don't think about, but it could be a game changer. Here's the kicker. Malaysia is incredibly English-friendly. Street signs, menus, and government websites, much of it is in English. That's not something you'll find everywhere in Asia. One of the biggest concerns for Americans thinking about retiring abroad is the language barrier. So I'll clear this up. In Malaysia, you can get by with English alone. English is widely spoken in cities like Kuala Lumpur, Penang, and Johor Bahru. You'll find it in hospitals, at banks, in government offices, and on most street signs. Even restaurant menus are often bilingual. That means whether you're renting an apartment, seeing a doctor, or shopping at a mall, English will take you a long way. But here's the secret. Learning just a little Malay, the national language, goes a very long way. Simple phrases like terima kasih for thank you or selamat pagi for good morning will bring instant smiles and respect from locals. I guarantee you they'll be much more willing to help you out with whatever you need if you show them you've taken the time to learn a little Malay. Now, Malaysia is multicultural. In Penang, for example, you'll also hear Hokkien and Mandarin in markets. In Indian neighborhoods, you may hear Tamil. But don't worry, locals are used to switching to English, especially with foreigners. So the bottom line is this: if you want to retire in Malaysia, you don't need to become fluent in a new language. You can live your daily life comfortably in English. But again, if you pick up even a handful of Malay phrases, you'll find it's one of the easiest places in Asia to truly feel at home. Add to that, Malaysia has a very strong infrastructure. That means you'll find reliable internet, modern airports, and good highways. Also, it is a central travel hub. Hop a flight to Bali, Singapore, or Thailand in under 3 hours. And speaking of flights, you'll most likely want to fly home on occasion. Unlike Canada or Mexico, Malaysia is on the other side of the world from the US. Flying home from Malaysia means longer travel times and more advanced planning than, say, from Mexico or Panama. But for many retirees, being able to visit family back home is a big deal. From Kuala Lumpur to Los Angeles, you're looking at a flight of about 17 to 20 hours total travel time, depending on layovers. There are no direct flights to the US, so you'll usually stop in Tokyo, Taipei, or Hong Kong. As for costs, round-trip economy fares typically range from $800 to $1,200, though you can find deals closer to $600 during sales. Premium economy or business class will of course run higher, but many retirees like to use reward points or credit card miles for those longer hauls. The good news is that Kuala Lumpur International Airport is a major hub in Asia. That means you'll have multiple flight options to the US every day, giving you flexibility to plan trips back home when you need them. So while it's a long journey, it's not a complicated one. Also, it keeps the US well within reach for retirees who want the best of both worlds. Now, since Malaysia is in the southern Pacific Ocean, it has a tropical climate. Yes, it's hot and humid, but you also get year-round greenery and coastal breezes. For retirees who want the adventure of Asia without the steep learning curve, Malaysia strikes the perfect balance. So is Malaysia really the best-kept retirement secret? Let me recap. Cost of living, affordable, with modern comforts. Healthcare, world-class, at a fraction of US costs. Residency, MM2H, provides long-term stability. Lifestyle, rich culture, incredible food, modern cities. Safety and AMP, expats, strong communities, and a welcoming atmosphere. Perks, English-friendly, great travel hub, and tropical beauty. Compared to places like Mexico or Portugal, Malaysia doesn't shout as loud. But maybe that's the point. While others chase the obvious, Malaysia quietly delivers the balance many retirees actually want. My verdict? Malaysia may not be the loudest retirement destination, but it may just be the smartest. I haven't personally been to Malaysia, but plan to visit in the near future. So why is Malaysia quietly becoming a top retirement haven for Americans? Because it offers a rare combination: low costs, high quality, and a lifestyle that feels adventurous and comfortable at the same time. If this video helped you rethink retirement, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. And don't forget, download your free retirement starter guide at retirewithoutborders.net. It's packed with budgets, visa tips, and city comparisons to help you decide if Malaysia is right for you. Now I'd love to hear from you. If you were to retire in Malaysia, would you choose Penang, Kuala Lumpur, or somewhere else? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. Do check out the next video on your screen discussing how to protect your identity overseas. It is a little geeky, but you will be happy you did.